Are you here for Prize Picks plays? Are you thinking to yourself, man, I just found this handsome guy on YouTube and I want to play Prize Picks, but I haven't signed up yet and I'm looking for a promo code? Well, look no further. You can see the beautiful banner that I have below you. Guys, if you use code DGF when depositing for your first time on Prize Picks, you get a 100% match up to $100. You don't have to put $100 down. You can put down 50. You can put down 20. You'll get that 100% match as long as you don't exceed $100. So go ahead, take advantage of the promo that we do have today if you are playing Prize Picks for the first time. If you do like this video and you do like some of the plays and you haven't signed up, boom, there you go. DGF is the code. Use promo code DGF for a 100% match up to $100. What's going on, guys? TJ here with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to bring you today's Prize Pick video on this beautiful Saturday morning. We have the first round of NBA playoffs upon us. I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend so far, and I hope everybody's pumped for some from NBA. The play-in games have taken place, and now we're ready for the real action as the 1 through 8 seeds have been finalized. Super excited today, especially because my Boston Celtics get to take down the Brooklyn Nets, and yes, my prediction, 5 games, Celtics in 5. Go ahead and drop a comment on what you think that Celtics-Nets series is going to look like. Again, I think Celts in 5. Tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if you guys think maybe I'm on a little something. But yes, Celtics in 5. So excited for the playoffs. We have 4 games on tap like I did talk about. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's go ahead and see if Prize Picks has some mispricing. Earlier this morning, there were only 8 guys on the board. Now we have a full board, so I'm super excited about that. So let's go ahead and see and find some of our favorite plays today. So we have Miami and the Bucks, obviously, tipping off at 2. We have Dallas and the Clippers at 4:30. We have the Celtics and Nets at 8. And then we have the late night hammer between Portland and Denver at 10:30. And as you can see, we have the live over-unders currently. We have Miami and the Bucks currently sitting at 227. We have Dallas and the Clippers that opened up at 219 down to a 217.5. We have the highest over-under on the slate that opened up at a 227.5 up to a 230.5, and that is the Celtics and Nets. And then we have Portland and Denver currently sitting at a 227.5. And what do you know, guys? The game that intrigues me the most is going to be that Celtics and Nets game with the highest over-under currently at 230.5. I think there's a lot of guys that are very low priced in terms of their Prize Picks points. And with that being said, that is where I want to start. So let's go ahead and take a look at the board right now. I think personally Miami and Milwaukee, that whole entire game is priced appropriately in terms of their Prize Picks, and I honestly think same thing with the Clippers and Dallas. So if we take a look at the team that would probably intrigue me the most out of those guys would be those Clippers numbers. I have Kawhi currently sitting for 46.48 Prize Picks points. They have him for 45. I have Paul George at 45. They have him for 44. So those would be 2 guys that I would obviously be looking at, but I think they're actually priced appropriately when it does come to Prize Picks. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through those 2 games, and here is the gold mine that I have found. And let's go ahead and start with my Boston Celtics. Shorthanded, obviously, with no Jaylen Brown. I really wish he was playing because I think this series would actually be somewhat intriguing. But instead, now the Celtics are going to win in 5 without him, right? The one thing that I'm concerned about, obviously, with this game is maybe the Celtics not coming to play game 1, traveling to Brooklyn. If Brooklyn comes out firing and this game gets away from the Celtics, then, you know, these overs are going to be pretty tough to hit for guys like Tatum and guys like Kemba. But I think if they can keep it competitive, it's obviously going to fall on both of those guys offensively. So if you guys think that the Celtics can hang today with Brooklyn, the overs that I love are obviously going to be Jason Tatum. We currently have him projected for 57 points. His over-under currently sits at 50. You saw what he did in the play-in game against Washington. He's going to have to be an absolute animal against Brooklyn in order for the Celtics to have any sort of chance, even though Celtics in 5, like I keep saying, Celtics in 5. But for them to have any chance, like, it's going to be Jason Tatum. He's going to have to be absolutely huge in these playoffs with no Jaylen Brown. So if you take off Jaylen Brown and you take off Tyson Teague, who are no longer with the team, obviously, looking at Tatum, he gets a 3.3% usage bump. He's a 1.42 fantasy point per minute and a 34.6% total usage. Projected for 39 minutes. And again, if this game's competitive, he could play 40. We have him for 57.2. Prize Picks has him for 50. I love the over on Jason Tatum. And then Kemba Walker as well, projected for 36.25 minutes. He's a 3.7% usage bump in this situation, 1.18 fantasy points per minute, and almost a 30% total usage. We have him for 44.36. He's currently projected at 38. I love the over on both of those guys. Again, if they can keep it competitive, if they can keep it close, even though they're winning in 5, it's going to be because of Tatum. It's going to be because of Kemba. Guys like Smart, Fournier chipping in. And again, Fournier currently sitting at a 29. I have him projected for 35. So if you're feeling dicey, you want to go all Celtics, those were the 3 that I'd be going for. And that's what I like right there from Boston. Then the other side with Brooklyn, I am interested in some of these guys as well. And James Harden at 46.5, absolutely absurd. Currently a 1.5 fantasy point per minute with the big 3 on the floor with him, KD and Kyrie, obviously. 28.9% total usage. I have him projected for 54.75 points. Again, there's only one ball there with those 3 superstars. It's going to be interesting to see how they look in playoffs. But if they get rolling, man, it's going to be a scary thing to watch. But yeah, as you see, 46.5 points is what they have Harden at. I have him projected for almost 55, so he's the biggest discrepancy in terms of where his over-under is currently set on PrizePicks and what I have him projected for. So I love Harden on the over here at 46.5. Joe Harris is another guy that does stick out a little bit here. His over-under is currently sitting at 20, a little more bullish there. Or a little more off of Joe Harris just because, you know, he's so shooting dependent that if he's not knocking down threes, I don't think he gets this over. But numbers never lie. We have him at a 0.78 fantasy point per minute, projected 33 total minutes today, 16.3% total usage. Again, he's going to get a lot of open looks because you have guys like KD, Harden, and Kyrie on the floor. So if he can knock down his shots, then yeah, I think he can exceed this over of 20. We currently have him projected at 25.77. So again, I do like the over there on Joe Harris, but I love the over on James Harden. Those would be the 2 guys from Brooklyn that I am looking at. And then, guys, I know when I make these videos, I'm all about the overs. But Claxton currently sitting at a 22 over-under. I know it's a really good matchup against the Celtics, but I do really like the under on him. He's currently sitting at an over-under of 22. We have him projected for 15.52. So if you want to throw Claxton in there as well on the under, I can get behind that. He's only projected 16 minutes, 0.97 fantasy point per minute. Can he do damage against the Celtics? Yeah. I just don't know if he exceeds that 22. So that would be an under that I do like. And then the last team I do want to talk about is this late night hammer between Denver and Portland, and it's on the Denver side of the ball. And let's go ahead and take a look at some injuries because we don't really have any right now except for that Denver game. And specifically that Denver-Portland game, specifically on Denver, we have no Barton and we have no Dozier. Obviously, Jamal Murray is out also. So let's go ahead and take a look at Denver. The one guy I do want to talk about is Campazzo, currently sitting at an over-under of 28, projected 34 minutes. I think he can go for 36, 37 if this game is competitive with Portland. He's a 0.94 fantasy point per minute with those guys off the floor like I just talked about. He's a 1.7% usage bump. We have him for 32.74 points. So I do like the over here on Campazzo. I'm way more in love with the Celtics and Brooklyn plays, but more of like an outlier type thing. I do like the Campazzo over 20. And that's really the only one I do like from Denver. I know Jokic, a lot of people like to go there. His over-unders at 59 on PrizePicks. I have him projected for 56, so that's something I'm going to stay away from. Campazzo is the guy that I am looking at. I wish they had Monty Morris on here because even though he's projected only 21 minutes because Austin Rivers is in the picture now, I feel like they'd have him at around 18, 17 points. But unfortunately, he's not on the board. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Again, I just want to go over those picks one last time. I have the Tatum over a 50. I have the James Harden over a 46.5, which is probably my favorite. I have Kemba over 38. I do like the Fournier over 29, but not as much as I like the Tatum, Kemba, and James Harden plays. Same thing with Joe Harris. I think Joe Harris and the Fournier kind of fall in that same category for me. Again, my favorites will be Tatum, Kemba, and Harden, all with the overs. I do like Fournier and Joe Harris overs. And then the Claxton under there at 22, and then Campazzo over of 28. So that's it. Those are the 7 plays that I'm looking at. I hope you guys enjoyed the first round of the NBA playoffs. Leave some predictions on what you guys think the series today and tomorrow are going to look like. Let me know who you guys think the NBA champion is going to be this year. Who's going to make it to the finals? I want to hear all the comments. So go ahead and not only that, if you could, guys, please drop a like. Make sure you sub to the channel and make sure you have that notification bell on. So when we do go live to cover the slate today, you get that. If you're playing DFS, if you're playing DraftKings, FanDuel, come on in, ask some questions in the YouTube chat. You know where to find us. And with all that being said, guys, good luck today. I love you, and let's cash.